Hi guys, ArchieLuxury on the Paul Pluta channel. Today I'm doing paid review 21QA76. Quick wristwatch check. I'm wearing a Rolex Explorer 2. Now this was actually a bit of advice. I'm going to read it to you and I want to tell you about this. So this guy wrote to me, he asked me for advice only, and I'm making this a vid because I just want to show you how ridiculous this guy was. I just acquired the 126711CHNR, that's the two-tone root beer, last month, along with a 3186, that's the Speedy, the new Speedy, a Zenith Chrono Sport, and an Explorer 1 214270 39mm Explorer 2, all within the last 4 weeks. Should I sell any of these to fund the Vacheron Constantin overseas at 19.5? And is the Vacheron Constantin a good buy at the price unworn? And I got to be totally honest with you. This guy here, I don't understand what the hell his mental problem is. I just went back to him and said, what the WTF? What are you doing, man? FMD. You only just bought these. I said, don't trade them. Stupid idea. Stupid. You only ever trade Rolex for Patek Philippe or Lange. VC, not good enough. Check out previous VC overseas models. Terrible value retention. We're talking especially the overseas Generation 2. Plummet like a stone. Stick with what you got. Stop being a freaking idiot. Regards, Archie. That was my advice to him. And I got to tell you, some people come into the game. They've been on the scene 5 minutes, and they're churning and burning. I mean, he's got a root beer. Great watch. That's a Lifetime Achievement Award. Why the hell would you get out of that? He's got a 3861. That's the Speedmaster, the new one. Great watch. He's got a Zenith Sport. Okay, I don't know why the hell he bought that. That was dumb, but it was probably to get the Rolex. And he's got an Explorer 139mm. Beautiful set. Beautiful set. And then he turns around. He's only just bought these. And says, should I sell any of them to fund a Vacheron? That's a really dumb move. The problem with Vacheron Constantin, they make a beautiful watch, but I gotta be totally honest with you, Vacheron put so much money. They're owned by Richemont. Richemont owns Cartier. They own Jaeger-LeCoultre. They own a number of, they're a big conglomerate, and they own PAM. And sure enough, you know, what happens is they've advertised China. Vacheron is actually quite popular in China. And what's happened is because you got Chinese, these are nouveau riche, they're kind of difficult customers. They automatically, it's like you Americans in the 50s, you know, every year the cars would change. The Chevy would be completely different to the year before. Well, that's how the Chinese sort of are. They've never really had money before. Suddenly there's a growing middle and upper class, and they want the latest and greatest. And what they don't realize is you buy Vacheron, you buy Patek, Rolex, it's timeless classic. You don't have to have the latest one because it's a timeless, that's the whole point. It's a classic. They don't understand this. And I got to tell you, with Vacheron, I'm going to give you this example in Aussie dollars. So 1 Aussie dollar is about just under 80 cents US. So we're 20% less. Good friend of mine, super collector. And, you know, he's had a few Vacherons. He recently got a Vacheron chronograph, a Vacheron overseas chronograph with the beautiful blue dial. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And that was a 30-something thousand dollar piece. And guess what? It is a great watch. It's beautiful. But you know what? It was high 30s as well, high 30s. The thing is, a year or two ago, he had a generation 2 of that version. Okay, it was white dial. He sold it for 14,000 Australian dollars. That's what he bought it for, and he sold it for. Man, is the new one worth more than twice that price? I don't think so. It's not that inferior. And I got to tell you, he also was looking at the two-hand, which in Australia, there's the blue dial ones are selling for, they're going slightly above retail. And he said, oh, he's almost going to buy it, but I told him to buy a Lange one, a Grand Lange one. So it was high 20s in Australia. Guess what? like 28, 29, something like that. Guess what? He tried to sell me when I went to pick up my Explorer 2 and my Milgauss. He had a Generation 2 three-hander with date, naked, no box or papers. He was going to give it to me for $9,200. Now, I know the new one is slightly better, but it's not 3 times the watch, is it? And that's the problem. Vacheron has a nouveau riche Chinese clientele who don't understand the luxury segment, okay? They're in their infancy. So that's the buyers. You've got idiot buyers. So you're riding on the back of fools. Now, Vacheron's a great watch, but man, those watches you mentioned there, let's be honest there. The Rootbeer, I'd keep that. What a beautiful GMT watch. The 3861, hey, you've got one? Just hold on to it. That's a great watch as well. The Zenith, I don't know why the hell you bought that, but hey, that's, I think you're going to lose a lot of money if you get out of that. And the Explorer 1, beautiful watch. So if you were buying a Patek, I could understand. I could give you advice, but you're selling some of those to get a Vacheron. That's really stupid. I mean, you can't always have every deal. You can't always buy everything. You make the decision at the time and you should stick with it. The beautiful thing about Rolex is you get Rolex and you're not going to have massive drops. If anything, it could go up. So to be honest with you, you've been in the game for 3 minutes and you've been in the game for 3 minutes and you want to trade out. That is just absolute stupidity. That is foolishness. It's stupidity. Dumb. It's really dumb. And I mean, I don't understand. That's how people lose money, okay? The dealer is not your friend. Stick to Rolex. Love the watch. Do you just slow down a bit there, because I think you seriously just jumping all over the shot. That's a really foolish. That's the way to lose a lot of money. It's a stupid thing to do. What you should do, I tell you honestly, you're building a collection. For most of you guys out there, it's like stock trading. Most people who do it lose money, okay? I've been fortunate, but I really know the market, and if its price is down, I often will hold. I've taken a few losses. I've got it wrong myself at times, but I tell you this now, what you need to do is you need to just buy good pieces you love and hold. Don't be wheeler dealing, especially when you've just bought these and you what the hell? If you wanted a Vacheron, you should have bought a Vacheron, and you should have bought Vacheron pre-owned. I would buy the Gen 2 stuff. I think that is so cheap. So cheap compared. Is Gen 3 that better? Personally, I like the dial on the Gen 2s better. There's a lot of features I actually like on the Gen 2s better. So I think you're being very, very stupid. Okay, very stupid, very, very impatient. It's dumb. It's like you just go and lease a C-Class Mercedes. Then you come back a month later and say, you know what? I should have got a BMW. That is just dumb. You've entered the lease. Stay with what you got. And when renewal comes, then you can make it, you can change. But to switch like that, that is just stupidity. Absolute stupidity. Okay, guys, like, subscribe, and tell your friends. And remember, Archie can't survive on Google Ads alone. I need paid reviews to keep me on YouTube. Paid reviews and Patreon. Without Patreon support, I really can't survive. So, guys, please, 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 get a paid review done. $50 US. I'll tell you what I think. I'll be the devil's advocate. I'll tell you my honest advice. And if it sucks, I'll tell you. If it's good, I'll tell you. I'm ArchieLuxury. See you in the next one. What an idiot! What a fool! Hi guys, ArchieLuxury. And who do I recommend in America? In America, who do I recommend for quality pre-owned wristwatches? David SW, David SW, David SW. Go to davidsw.com. He is the best, the greatest pre-owned dealer in all of the United States of America. David SW, David SW, David SW. Hey guys, ArchieLuxury. Who do I recommend for watches in Brisbane and Sydney? Vintage Watch Co. That's correct. Vintage Watch Co. in Brisbane Arcade in Brisbane and the Strand Arcade in Sydney. Vintage Watch Co. Brisbane and Sydney. Ronnie, I've known him since the late 90s. Ronnie is a top bloke. Luke is a great guy. Vintage Watch Co. That is who I recommend in Australia. Check out Vintage Watch Co. and the guys' amazing range of watches. They also do service and repairs. Vintage Watch Co. That is where the pontiff goes. You know, some of my Pateks came from Vintage Watch Co. That's right, guys. Vintage Watch Co.